everyone. My name is Grace Fuller. I also use she, her pronouns. I serve as the manager of International Student Experience and Engagement here at ISPO, the International Students and Programs Office. We're so excited to talk to you about all the things we have, but I also want to allow Zena to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Zena. I'm the UIA here at ISPO. I'm a third-year marshal student, and I study sociology and political science. So if you guys are interested, like feel free to reach out. And if you guys are interested in the EIA program, also feel free.
What does EIA stand for?
English in Action. So we basically kind of match you up with the native English speaker. So if you want to practice your English or just make some friends, feel free to join us. Well, thank you, and hope you enjoy your afternoon time.
So as we go through the presentation, feel absolutely free to continue eating, chewing, etc. We will not be offended. Just as long as you showed up here for us, that's the most important thing. So welcome. Before we begin, I guess if there's any questions in the chat, someone able to assist with those. Grace will be troubleshooting on that at the end. Okay, so we're going to start with a little icebreaker. If I could ask a little bit of help from Kevin and Mary and maybe Zena, if you want to also participate. We're just going to have a quick icebreaker question. So we're just going to hover over you guys in little clusters, and you're just going to have to talk to us for a second. So if that's, your thing. Oh no, it didn't change.
It's okay. We're going to say it out loud. That is so strange. So our icebreaker question that we have for everyone here is, if someone were to visit you in your hometown or where you currently are, doesn't matter to us, for a weekend, what would you do with them and why?
Okay, here's the actual
things.
question.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab this chunk of people over here. If you want to go here,
Yes.
and then our other folks just grab a little group of people.
Grab the shot.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. I really enjoyed my group because I've actually been to every city except for one. So I will go to Hangzhou one year. But anyways, we will get into the different ways that you can get involved as an undergraduate. Next up, we're going to invite Grace to talk a little bit about our favorite office in the entire world, ISPO.
All right, party people. Thanks for coming to International Orientation. You were forced. It's mandatory, but thanks for being here. Okay, who is ISPO? Most likely, you're going to think of ISPO as the people who issue your I-20, your DS 2019, help you maintain status as an F1 or a J1 student. But we actually have a lot of different programs, events, workshops that we host throughout the year, because my philosophy with orientation is, yes, you should learn things, you should know how to maintain your status, you should also have fun, you should also meet people. That's also my philosophy for your entire time at UC San Diego. So that's a little bit about who we are. I also like to brag a little bit about who our students are. So you can see that our students, we actually have 20% of our undergraduate population are international students. So we have a lot of diversity and folks coming from around the world here. You can see how it's kind of split between colleges. You can also see top majors. You can see top countries down here, but we have over 100 countries represented at UC San Diego. So it's a really cool opportunity. Just by being at UC San Diego, you are a part of a global community, and it's your choice how much you choose to engage in that. Okay, so these are our I programs. So these are kind of like our signature ISPO programs. I'll just briefly talk about them really quick. So we're gonna have English in Action. So Zena is our English in Action program intern. She already gave a great summary, but English in Action is where you can get matched with a native English speaker. So if you want to practice your English, if you want to learn a little bit more about American culture, this is a great opportunity. A lot of folks sign up for this, and it costs money for everyone except for students. Huzzah. Okay, iTable. iTable is our basic needs resource for international students. So international students don't qualify for federal funding. So you might go to the hub, and you might go to basic needs, and you can participate at the Creighton Food Pantry, but you wouldn't be able to participate in something like CalFresh, right? So as a complement to that, we've created iTable to make sure that all of our students are supported in their basic needs. I Thrive explores culture and identity. So that's probably going to kick off more in winter and spring quarter. That will actually be coordinated by yours truly, Michelle. And this year we're going to do a focus on social justice. And so exploring culture and identity with the lens of social justice. We actually have a social justice 101 workshop tomorrow for our Lunch and Learn. So if you're curious about that and you want a little bit of a preview, you can attend tomorrow's workshop. Coffee hour, I'm sure you all are familiar with coffee hour at ISPO. So during orientation, we have coffee hour every day. We will not have coffee hour every day during the year, but we do typically have it once a month. So once a month during the academic year, we have coffee hour. And again, it's just like an informal time for our community to gather, to enjoy some coffee and enjoy some pastries and enjoy one another. Our Thanksgiving exchange program is we realize that a lot of our international students maybe go home once a year, like maybe over the winter break, but for Thanksgiving or for our fall break rather, you're kind of like, what do I do? So a lot of international students might choose to do different things. Many students are like, Thanksgiving means nothing to me, so I'm going to travel. I highly recommend that. It's a great time to travel because a lot of people are going to stay home because it's more of a familial holiday. And so actually it's a really fun time to travel. I know that Outback Adventures will sometimes host like trips over Thanksgiving. So let's say you want to check out some of the national parks. I would keep an eye out for that. However, if you want to experience a little bit about American culture, and let's say you want to experience more traditional like Thanksgiving, you can sign up for our exchange program where we will match you with an American host family that will invite you into their home so you can participate in a Thanksgiving holiday. Very sweet. Also, signups go very quick. So we'll post this on our website and in our newsletter, but if you are interested, you should sign up right away because signups are like so fast. Intercultural social hour, I'll let Michelle talk about, as well as international peer coaching program. The other one that's not here, but is a part of iProgram. So if you go there, you'll learn more about it, is Triton Trekkers. So that's our collab with Outback Adventures. And basically we think that being in San Diego, you probably came to UC San Diego in part because it's in San Diego. So we want you to explore your own backyard. I think the trips that we have lined up for this quarter are a snorkeling La Jolla Cove trip, a kayaking Coronado Island trip, and a hiking Potato Chip Rock trip. So these are a lot of events, and if it's a Triton Trekker event, we actually will subsidize the cost for international students to go. But again, trips fill up really quick. So you can find more information about Triton Trekkers, all of these at iPrograms, and they will all be listed on our iEvents calendar. Once they're posted, they'll be advertised on our social media, on primarily our Instagram, and in our newsletter. So pay attention and you can get first access to all these things. Okay, my favorite subject. So we are all, so Michelle, Sarah, myself, many offices are a part and offer the Globally Engaged Tritons co-curricular record program. So how many of you are familiar with what your CCR is? Okay, this is actually like more than I thought. Okay, so think about your CCR as the complement to your academic transcript. So when you graduate from a university, you're going to get a transcript that's saying, here are all the classes the student took while they were at the university. And it's validated by the university, right? Like it carries a little bit of weight. Your CCR is the complement to that because the UC San Diego recognizes that learning takes place both inside and outside the classroom. So your transcript is going to validate learning that takes place inside the classroom. Your CCR is going to validate learning that takes place outside the classroom. In the same way that you would have different courses listed on your transcript, you're going to have different opportunities listed on your CCR. One of those opportunities can be the Get CCR. So by being involved in events or programs that promote global engagement or the internationalization of our campus, you can earn hours towards the Get CCR. Any CCR program is going to require 30 hours over the course of an academic year. But fun fact, the way we've structured international orientation this year is that almost all workshops and events are eligible for Get CCR credit. So you being here today, you've already earned an hour towards the Get CCR. Congratulations. If you have attended coffee hour, that's eligible for Get CCR credit. If you went to the IPC open house, that's eligible for Get CCR credit. If you go to the international mixer next week, that's eligible for Get CCR. I mean, y'all, it's very, like, this is the time, this is the place. So if you're interested, Get CCR ucsd.edu is a way that you can enroll in the program. And like I said, you most likely have already been earning hours towards your required 30. So if you're interested in learning more, I would encourage you to check it out. Okay, so my other favorite topic, our iEvents calendar. So hopefully you all know what the iEvents calendar is by now, but I'll just add that this is a live calendar that's populated throughout the year. So right now you're going to see a lot of our offices posting a lot of these events because we work all summer. But once the academic year starts to kick off and a lot of our student orgs start coming back online, you'll see a lot more events hosted by our students, and you'll see events hosted by our student orgs, right? And so again, people are adding to this calendar like on a weekly, daily basis. So a lot of students I know will bookmark this page, and whenever they're just like bored and they're like, what's there to do? They'll head to the iEvents calendar, and that's maybe how you'll find out about that snorkeling trip. That's how you'll find out about that bus tour, etc. The other thing I just want to say is that I'm going to do a live demo here. So if you go to our iEvents calendar, and let's say you're interested, you're like, what events are eligible for Get CCR credit? You can click that tag, and then it's going to show you everything that's eligible for Get CCR credit. So like you being here today, if you went to coffee hour earlier, if you're going to go to our afternoon session, if you go to any of these meetups. So this is a really easy way to find what can be eligible. The other thing I know students do is, I don't hate the game. I don't hate the game. So this is like, it's an interactive calendar. Quick note about events at UC San Diego. There's going to be a lot of free food provided. I know that sometimes during welcome, like Triton Weeks of Welcome to UA, students like to brag that they don't have to purchase meals because they can just go to different events and eat meals. Again, I don't hate the game, play the game, but know that food at all events is first come, first served. So don't be surprised if you show up like halfway through and all the food is gone because everyone else is also playing that game. So come early, first come, first serve, and that way you can ensure that maybe you're properly and well fed. Okay. ISAC. So ISAC is our International Student Advisory Council. So if you would like to be involved in a little bit more of a leadership role or a leadership opportunity, then ISAC might be for you. So ISAC meets monthly over the course of the academic year to discuss unique concerns faced by our international students. So I would say if you're invested in the international student experience here at UC San Diego, ISAC is a great way for you to get involved. Typically, we have our student leaders. So we have like the international student senators from all of the college councils. We have the international student senator from AS, from GPSA. AS stands for Associated Students. GPSA stands for Graduate and Professional Student Association. And then we have exec members from the different, a lot of different like cultural and international student orgs. I think I see some exec members from some international student orgs here. And then but it's an open invite. So we have like a lot of leaders around campus, but then if you are just interested in getting more involved and maybe getting into a leadership role this next year, this is a great like entry point. Or if you're just like, I care about the international student experience and I want to talk about employment opportunities for international students. Like we will bring in the Career Center and we'll talk about how do we offer more employment opportunities for international students. A few years ago, parking was like I mean, it's always a topic, but it was a huge topic and we brought in folks from parking. So again, it's like this really collaborative relationship where you get to really advocate on behalf of international students. You also have the ear of ISWA leadership. So I myself attend all ISAC events. I also know our director, Dulce, attends almost all. And then if you're a part of ISAC, and specifically this is most relevant to our student orgs, there's also a lot of benefits that come with it. So by being a part of ISAC, folks get to reserve space for events and meetings. You probably don't know this because you all are incoming students, but typically you have to rent and pay money to reserve spaces. So being able to use like this as a programming space or the large conference room or the eucalyptus grove can be really advantageous because those spaces can go really quick. You can also apply. So let's say you're like, I don't know if I want like a leadership position, but I really love events. And I want to host a welcome beach bonfire, or I want to host a surf workshop. You could collaborate with some of our interns and get money to host that event for the international student population here at UC San Diego. And then it's also, you have the ear of a lot of this for leadership. Oh, and that we are a big fan of vanity URLs at ISPO. So that vanity URL is truly just isac.ucsd.edu. Okay, meetups. Like I said, I think that orientation, you should learn important things. You should also meet people. That's my personal preference, and that's how I design orientation. So Michelle is doing a wonderful job coordinating all of our meetups, but we have two kinds of meetups. One are regional based and one's interest based. So our regional based meetups, you can go, I think we have like, essentially, you can go to like the Europe regional meetup. You can go to the South America regional meetup, Oceania, Africa, etc. So you can attend meetups from your same home region to meet other folks who are from that home region, or you can go to a meetup of a different region if you are curious to meet folks from there. Interest meetups, so I know we have like quite a variety. I think we have like photography and hiking and like food in San Diego. So those are all on our iEvents calendar, as well as on our orientation website with the word meetup, /meetup. And with that, I will hand it over to my colleague, Michelle, to talk about IPC.
So Grace did an excellent job, as always, explaining everything at ISPO, but the International Peer Coaching Program. And I'm so sorry, I've been losing and breaking my voice in the past 72 hours, and I don't know why. So if it constantly fluctuates, it's me, not you. So with the International Peer Coaching Program, it's one of our highlight programs that we have over at ISPO that is completely dedicated to our first year undergraduate students. So the international peer coaches are international students like yourselves who are here throughout the entire academic year to help you navigate this new endeavor, which is called college. And this entire program is dedicated also to helping you get connected to this campus, for example, like this Lunch and Learn, and that's why we have our wonderful IPCs here. It's also for students who are interested in having a mentor throughout the academic year, especially if you have questions about classwork, if you have questions about studying tips, if you just want to make a friend, or you have, like you're experiencing some socialization issues. This is why the international peer coaches are here for you, so that you have that buddy to talk to throughout the entire year. Again, I highlight this because many folks historically have only perceived our peer coaches to be available only during the fall quarter. No, they're available for you fall, winter, and spring. And of course, overall, the IPCs are here to support your transition to American life. We have our lovely 7 international peer coaches. The reason why we have 7 is that there is one peer coach designated to each undergraduate college. So for graduate students, this doesn't necessarily pertain to you, but who here is in 6th college? You're in 6th college. Oh my gosh, this is your IPC. Okay, is anyone here in 7th college? Okay, 7th college. 6th and 7th are one of our newer colleges. So that is why it's super exciting whenever we get 6th and 7th college students. But if you're in the other colleges, such as Mir, you have Nick here. If you're in ERC, Eleanor Roosevelt College, you have Shagun. If you're in Marshall, you have Ilana. If you're in Ravel, you have Jesse. If you are in Warren, in our last college here, you have Shreya. So you're in really, really good hands. We actually just wrapped up our training yesterday, and they are so, so excited to get to know you more and obviously support you in whatever you need help with. And I'm also here for them and for you as well. And what do we do? So I keep talking about this like IPC thing. You're like, what is it? So we offer these one-on-one peer mentorship sessions with your designated IPC. We also provide these weekly personalized emails, and these emails will always be themed around, I don't know, maybe this week is about studying tips, or this week is about prioritizing mental health. And these newsletters are themed, but they're completely curated by your IPC. So it's going to be very different than any of your other UCSD emails that you receive. So none of the dear student stuff. It's all like, you're going to have memes, you're going to have puppies, you're going to have rainbows, you're going to have bold, you're going to have color. And it's because it's written by your peer. We really want to cut the formality out. They're your friends, and so am I as well. With events, we have socialization events, such as the open house, such as last night, who here came to that? Okay, it's fine. Oh, yay! And then we also have professional development event. We offer that at the end of every single quarter. In fall quarter, we have a webinar that is dedicated to learning more about American work culture here, and we collaborate with the Career Center for that. We also have a resume lab, which is about curating your first resume for the United States. And then we also have an interviewing 101, how to nail that interview in the US, especially when English may not be your first language, right? And we also have fun mixers. So we collaborate with our colleagues over at iHouse. We do a bunch. You're gonna have to get used to this. I'm so sorry. In San Diego, we're very close to our air base. And as you know, fun fact, we're one of the most militarized zones in the United States. So you're gonna constantly hear jets at UCSD. Just get used to it. And we also collaborate with all of our partners over at Global Education to make these mixers. Our next upcoming social is going to be in October. It's Intercultural Social Hour. And that was the event that Grace highlighted real quick. So I just want to mention Intercultural Social Hour. It's always once a month. And for this year, we're going to have it once in October that is dedicated to our international transfer students. And then once more in November, that is going to be during International Education Week. And these two events are just an hour of fun. We're going to set up some giant Jenga outside, cornhole. We're going to learn how to play cornhole. And our IPCs host the entire event. And it's food on us, mainly snacks and drinks and fun. So please do check out iEvents for that event when it does come up on the calendar. And lastly, if you do want to join the International Peer Coaching Program, please do so. Our vanity URL is ipeercoaching.ucsd.edu, and you can just click on make an appointment with your international peer coaches. The site is not live quite yet. We are still working on setting up their schedules. However, it is going to be live next week. So do keep your eyes out on that. We are going to send out an email. You're going to get an email from your peer coaches during week 1 of fall quarter. So also keep a lookout on those because those are always the most fun. Yes.
Michelle, can I get CCR credits for meeting with my international peer coach?
That's a great question. Yes, you can. You can get your CCR hours. You can get up to 10. So each session, when you do meet with a peer coach, is 30 minutes. However, you can get up to 10. So that means you can meet your peer coach if you wanted to 20 times throughout the academic year. Basically, you're just meeting them and making a new friend at this point. You might as well get CCR hours for that, right? Yes? Yes. Yeah. I also want to highlight that we are a hybrid program. So we also, oh my God, sorry, my throat is like killing me. But I don't have COVID. I took a test. Don't worry. I know everyone's thinking that right now. With our program itself, we offer both hybrid Zoom sessions and in person, and all in-person meetings will happen somewhere around ISPO. So this is the place that we call home, and we also want to invite you to our home. Yes. And with that, I pass it over to Sarah.
I always feel very intimidated following up ISPO and the international peer coaching presentations, but I will do my best. As we approach the 1 o'clock mark, if you have like other obligations that you need to get to, that's totally fine. If you need to speak out, I'm not going to cry about it, but I hope you stay. Okay, so what is iHouse? Do any of you live there? Have you been to iHouse yet? iHouse resident? Woo, woo, yay, awesome. So welcome to iHouse. It's kind of an odd bird on campus, but we are a living and learning community. So we have iHouse residents, half of which are EAP students that are on, J1 visas. They're exchange students from other home universities across the world. And the other half of our residents are UCSD four-year students. So it's by design a very globalized community, and we also support this by hosting global programming that is welcome to anyone. So you don't have to live in iHouse to come to our programs. In fall of this semester, we have some programs coming up. Language conversation tables is one of our biggest offerings. This is a weekly meeting on Tuesday in the Great Hall, which is over in the ERC area, where hosts will essentially practice different languages with a group of people. It's pretty informal, it lasts an hour, but is a good opportunity to either help others practice or practice a language that you're trying to learn in a more casual setting. The Global Forum is a series of globally tied in lectures. So if you have any kind of issues or speakers that you think that would be really important to come to UCSD, that's a great venue to do that. That's most Wednesdays throughout the year. Global Interviews and Monday Cooking are two of our virtual programs. So if you have a recipe or a student org or even a cause that's very close to your heart that you want to share with the campus community, we love to collaborate with students to sort of help share our platform and get your message out there with folks that follow iHouse's social media channels. iHeart is a yearly program in which we engage in the arts, and this is usually a collaboration, sometimes with the Department of Theater, sometimes it's a fashion show. We might be rebooting that one this year under iHeart, so stay tuned. There's always a lot of outlets for creativity for that program. And for our off-campus outings, we also do Slices San Diego, which is a small outing somewhere in San Diego once per quarter, in which we provide transportation, lunch, and kind of explore the city that we all live in. So there's plenty of opportunities to get out there and explore the place that you're living in. Immediately for this quarter, we're starting up language conversation tables. So if this is of interest to you, we are recruiting participants and hosts. So if you're interested and want to see a particular language featured, let us know at the in the interest form, LCT interest. So you could tell us like, oh, I would really love to have a Cantonese language table featured this year. You can actually request that, and it helps us decide who the host will be for the year. If you actually want to host a table, that's a quarter-long commitment, and it also is CCR eligible, so you get some credit for that on your CCR record. But your job would essentially be to show up and kind of just guide the conversation. You don't need to prepare a lesson by any means, but just be there as a host of the table to kind of guide people through the conversation. Importantly, stay in touch with us. Really the best place to get updates about our programming would be the iEvents calendar, of course, but also our Instagram is really where we do a lot of our programming updates. So do follow us. It's a good time, even though we are way off in the corner of ERC and like we may not be on your usual path around campus. Our programs are really fun, and I would love to see you all come out and join us. Okay, so with that, if there's any questions or any general questions for any of us or any of our, student team members as well. We threw a lot of information at you, so you could just also let that digest. And
Sarah, would you be willing to go to the the survey slide, and then maybe we can let the questions percolate? But
yes.
Friendly reminder, the survey is how you will receive that CCR credit. So if there is a slight chance you're thinking about being involved in the Get CCR program, I would highly encourage you to fill out this survey.
And of course, it always helps to have your feedback regardless, even if you're not, using that as a CCR.
That's true.
Credit provider. We do like to hear your feedback. To our IPCs, do you have anything to add or any, comments?
Yes, I do have a question. So on the slide of the language conversation table, there is one language that's usually always there, which is Spanish, but I don't see it there.
Yeah, that was kind of an anomaly last quarter. I think I wasn't working in the job at that point, so don't blame me. It was someone else's fault. But Spanish was not featured, and that's because of the lack of host recruitment. I think that issues finding someone to actually commit to it. But there was a lot of modality shifts with the language conversation tables last year. We were going from a remote to in-person format back and forth, and I think that was making it a little bit difficult to plan commitments. But this year we are doing in-person. We are rebooting it back to the traditional format. So if you do feel passionate about certain language offerings, this is the chance. We do need the volunteers to make it happen. So
We have
This-
another question.
great.
I have a question. I would like to hear from our 3 interns. What did you feel was most helpful in terms of how you got involved at UC San Diego? What contributed to your sense of belonging? Like, what advice might you share with someone who's trying to navigate how they should get involved, how they find their community, what resources were helpful, et cetera? So whoever's ready can take it first, and then maybe we can popcorn from there.
I'm ready. Hey everybody, my name is Kevin, just to remind you one more time. I'm the 7th college IPC, and personally I think, I've been at UCSD for, let me stand up, for around like 4 years and a half. I should be graduated by now, but I haven't because I took a gap year during the pandemic. I thought that's the right decision. But usually what I do to be engaged and all of that is by joining events just like this. And how do I know where the events are? So back then, there used to be a website called Student Event Insider, where you can see all the events happening in this campus.
Now the virtual student union, yes.
Not the virtual student union?
So the Student Events Insider became the virtual student union. So you go to virtual student union that UCSD.edu.
Yes, I was gonna ask because that website no longer works. Currently, the best website is probably what Grace just mentioned, and also the iEvent. So if I were you, I would keep an eye on all the new events popping out from iEvents.com and then join those events. Talk to people there, and they're gonna share you a lot of insights on where you should go, what works to join, and all of that stuff. But another thing I would strongly recommend everybody here to do is join one of the student organizations of your choice. If you're a biology student like me, you can join the BSSA. If you are bioinformatics, UPIC, and there are so many things you can join. And then you can find people of similar interests. And I think that's one of the best. So yeah.
And I just want to briefly share my first year and second year experience with you guys. So my first year was the pandemic, year. And I did it that year. I was completely in Shanghai through remote everything. And I kind of want some connection with university life. So I joined multiple ISCOL events during that time, which is all via Zoom. And now you guys are in person. It feels so different and so good. I can only watch people eating their breakfast on Zoom, but now we can have lunch together. So I would say if you want to meet people, and especially international students, because we share some similar concerns, and we can have like conversation in diverse culture, conversation, something like that. And I would recommend you to join a school event first, and you can make friends from there. You can develop habits, interests together. Like I'm a sports lover. I find tennis players. I find surfers, and I find friends who's interested in paintings, and we can stem from here because it's these events are social events. You can make friends, which is great. My second year, I'm on campus. I joined clubs like musicians club or theater companies and make friends from there. And if you're a sports lover, I would highly recommend UC Recreation. You can play different sports, join teams, or take classes and learn, pick on a new sports or skills, because they have DIY classes.
Aerial silk, surfing,
Yeah.
all kinds of sports you can think of.
Those courses got filled up so quick, so check on that if you're a sports lover.
It just opened, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you have more questions, I would say get connected with the IPC, and they will help you with anything.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, we've been on campus for a year, but I would say definitely follow more UCSD Instagram accounts because they posted a lot of stuff there. So one of my favorite events was Samdot festival, if you guys have heard about it. So we had Ian Dior and Tashi last year. So it's like basically it's like a music festival, and we find a lot of artists. And personally, I really like hip hop, so we had Ian Dior last year. I was very happy. And so we have also like recreation, as Mary just mentioned. So like I took a class on underwater basket weaving, if you know what that is. It's like an hour of like chilling, just like talking with friends, and you can make friends from there. And we have a lot of events from Trident Fest, if you know that organization. So I think we have it for y'all next week.
This Sunday,
Oh,
6 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
Town Square, yes.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Well, definitely go to those events, because like I think we have like fairy rooms and other stuff. It's like a great chance to meet new people and make friends. And also like, I mean, like if you are taking classes, just like don't be shy and talk to the person who's next to you. Like that's usually how you meet friends in your department. And yeah, if you like live on campus, just like make sure to reach out to your neighbors, to your roommates. Yeah, and just like talk to people and be shy. And I'm sure like all we can find friends. That's it.
Great. Much our time together as we're on our way out. We will be posting details to sort of an orientation giveaway amongst all of our partners. We're going to be posting details on our Instagram soon. So if you're interested in catching up on those details, these are our Instagram handles, and that's how you can really get connected with a lot of our pop-up events as well. As folks are going out, do we have any instructions about what to do with like the trash or anything? I don't. So like, do we have a trash can in here?
Isn't it there?
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah, so thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, we're here for you. We're really excited for you to start this journey. Trash cans are over here, and yeah, have a wonderful day. It was great meeting all of you.